And let's get started. What we're talking about today, we're talking about introduction to Pilates. What are for you the six most important things in Pilates?
Well, Pilates had 6 guiding principles to his method. That's concentration, control, centering, flow, precision, and breathing. So if we were just to talk about concentration, Mr. Pilates was talking about concentrating on the whole body when you're doing exercise. Control, of course, is how we're controlling the movement. So there's no sloppy movements that are in there. Centering, we often talk about powerhouse. I'm sure you've heard that term before. So everything is coming from a strong center in the body.
And flow. I like the flow, so one movement is connected to the other movements. It's a non-stop movement, a flow. This is what and of course, precision is we try to work as precise as possible that we can kind of challenge the muscles as much as we can. And then from precision, we also get quality. And then, of course, the last little thing which is also important is breathing. Because if we stop breathing, let's say latest after a minute, we're not in a good condition anymore. So it's really important how to breathe. Should we get one exercise started?
Absolutely. Let's talk about one of the most famous of the Pilates exercises, and that is called the 100 or the 100. So we're going to break it down and give you a couple different modifications for this 100, so that is everyone can do it. You ready?
Yes.
Chris, are you going to demonstrate for us?
Yes, I can do that.
Perfect. So what we're going to do is start by lying on the back. And we'll go from sort of the most basic up to something that's a little bit more challenging. Does that sound good to you?
Great. Sounds like a great plan.
Perfect. All right. So when we're talking about belly, everything's working through this concentrated center. So Christian is going to sort of knit his belly muscles together and make sure that they feel strong and the back isn't arching too much. The movement of the 100 is the arms. And they just pump up and down just slightly. So float those arms and then pump them up and down. The shoulders are gently pulling down so he feels strength in his shoulders.
Yes, I feel my shoulders active.
Shoulders active.
I need that muscles in order. I can't move my arms.
Exactly. And then the last little guiding principle here is the breath. So in this exercise, we're going to breathe in and breathe out 5 times with those little patterns of the movement. So we would maybe take the inhale for 5 little pumps and we exhale for the next 5 little pumps. Got it? And we do this 10 times and that becomes our 100. Good. So actually the 100 is a exercise for our abdominal strength. So to make this now a little bit more challenging, can you lift your chest? Perfect. So we're going to look at this beautiful neckline that he has, a little bit of space between his chin and the chest. You can't see that from his awesome beard right there, but the spine is making the curve. You do have a lovely beard though.
Yeah.
The chest is lifted high enough that he feels his abdominal muscles and not his neck muscles. If during this exercise he feels it's too much for his neck, he's going to bring one hand behind the head, for example, or he just leaves his head on the floor. So this is then another option, pumping the arms right here. Great, that 5 inhale and the 5 exhale. Good. Let's take a little pause for a second. Let's make this a little bit harder so that the low abs start to work. Ready? We call this tabletop in Pilates. So tabletop because it looks like a table on right here on the shin bones. If the legs are too far in, we sort of lose contact from those abdominal muscles. But if they go just out enough where he's not arching his back, but he's connected with those low abdominal muscles, it gets pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. I feel it already.
Perfect. So that would be our next modification. Can you lift your chest one more time, Chris? All right. So we could do it right here. Perfect. Thank you for the demonstration. All right, let's make it just a tiny bit harder, more challenging for those low abs. You want to stretch them up to the sky? Great. So now Christian is very flexible in the backs of his legs. If this is not possible for the backs of your knees, you could also bend the knees just slightly wherever it feels comfortable. The thing we're looking for is making sure that the low back isn't becoming separated from the floor, arching the back. Can you show me an arch?
You show an arch, okay.
Yep. So if the arch of the back, if he's feeling it more with his low back instead of his abs, we're going to pull those legs in a little bit more or bend the knees. Okay? So let's do the full length up. Again, this would be one of your shapes that you can do. Just give us a 10. Perfect. And if you're feeling you need to make this even more challenging, you lower those legs to your point of control, and you would do the 100 on this point of control. Beautiful. You just keep on doing that. So what I mean is that point of control is where he's feeling more in the abdominal muscles and not so much in the back. If you're feeling anything in the back, it's time to stop and go back one of those levels. Perfect. Well done.
That was
is the
really, really good. So I think the 100 is not only the most famous exercise, it's also one of the most challenging exercise. And in my classes, when I say we're going to do the 100, everyone's like, oh, like, but really precisely done, it's really effective, it's challenging your coordination, your breathing pattern, and of course, your abdominal strength and balance. Yes. And that's it for today, for the 100. I hope you had some fun and hope to see you soon.